Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. In this week's episode, Smyrna Dunes construction is in full swing. August at the Ocean Center is loaded with family fun, and the Corrections Department is having a job fair. Later on in the program, Joanne Magley sits down with Pedro Leon from the Volusia County Economic Development Division. Those segments and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Construction is complete for the first phase of boardwalk construction at Smyrna Dunes Park. The first phase included demolition of the current boardwalk and construction of a new boardwalk from the main pavilion to the fishing pier, which makes that entire path now ADA accessible. Bordered by water on three sides, Smyrna Dunes Park is one of the few parks where people can bring their leashed pets to the river and inlet beaches.
What we've got now is a massive improvement. This boardwalk is 8 feet wide. It's made of Trex decking, which is a recycled composite, which means it's part plastic, part wood. It will not splinter. It's not going to be hot to touch. We've taken out the obstructive railing so that our smaller patrons can enjoy the gopher tortoises and the southeastern beach mice unobstructed. This will also help keep some of our debris that might fall off our carts on the walkway and not in the environment.
The recently opened pier features concrete pilings, 2 large shade structures, multiple benches, and a handrail designed for handicapped accessible fishing. Construction continues as the walkway leading to the inlet dog beach has been demolished and is currently under construction. Demolition has been completed on the western observation tower as well as the western portion of the boardwalk loop. Both of these areas are currently under construction and will be opened in segments as they are completed. The entire boardwalk, with all 8 connecting walkways and picnic pavilions, is slated for completion by summer of 2018. Men and women interested in a career in public protection have an opportunity to join Volusia County's Division of Corrections. The division will host a career fair at 8 a.m. Saturday, August 19th at the Volusia County Branch Jail at 1300 Red John Drive in Daytona Beach. Attendees will meet with staff, tour the facility, and learn about benefits and job responsibilities. They can also fill out an application and begin the pre-screening process. The Volusia County Branch Jail and adjacent Volusia County Correctional Facility have nearly 300 sworn officers who supervise an average daily inmate population of 1,500 inmates.
Our employees interact daily with individuals who are facing criminal charges or have been convicted of such. And the candidates that we're looking for are compassionate, caring, but at the same time are able to maintain control and custody of individuals involved in our criminal justice system.
The career trainees are paid $14.62 an hour as they undergo 420 hours of academy training in interpersonal skills, legal issues, first response, emergency preparedness, correctional operations, defensive tactics, and the safe use of firearms. Upon becoming a certified corrections officer, the pay is increased to $16.17 an hour. Applicants must be at least 19 years old, tobacco-free, and in good physical condition. They also must have a Florida driver's license and a high school diploma or GED certificate. They cannot have a felony or misdemeanor conviction involving moral character, perjury, or false statements. For more information about the job fair and careers in corrections, you can contact Molly Hudson at mhudson@volusia.org. Applications may be submitted at any time by visiting volusia.org and clicking on Career Opportunities. You don't have to run a company to be considered a boss. Kate Sark's here to tell us more in this week's Business Beat.
The dictionary describes a boss as a person who exercises control or authority, and a lady as a woman of superior social position. Combine those two definitions and you get a pretty accurate idea of a boss lady. While bossy can be used as a negative term, recently women have been encouraged to embrace the term and use it for good. Among them is Lacey McLaughlin, founder of Boss Lady, who's working to highlight and connect local female entrepreneurs.
I really want women to feel empowered and that they have a network that they can rely on and that will support them. For me, starting a business, I didn't really know who to talk to. I didn't know who to talk shop with. I was finding resources online, which were great, but I really wanted that in-person connection. I think as women, and I can really only speak for myself and some of my friends, so I don't want to speak for all women, but what we do with our businesses is so tied to our personal lives. It's such an expression of ourselves.
McLaughlin founded and operates Idea Dinners, which brings together like-minded individuals to connect over an intimate meal prepared by local chefs. After hosting a dinner for female entrepreneurs, she recognized a great opportunity. The dinner paved the way for a 2-day Boss Lady retreat, which grew into a year-round membership community of the same name. The Boss Lady community offers opportunities for women to connect with other professional females. In addition to an interactive Facebook group that fosters conversation and highlights local female entrepreneurs, members attend events such as cocktail making classes and modern-day glamour shots. While the events are fun, they also allow members to connect and grow from one another.
So many of us have unique skills, and it doesn't mean that you're always getting elevated or you're the public speaker for every event, but we all have something we can teach each other. And when we do that, we build relations.
With the encouragement and success of the group, McLaughlin is preparing for the second annual Boss Lady Retreat, which will take place August 26th and 27th at the Atlantic Center for the Arts in New Smyrna Beach. The weekend will feature an extensive list of speakers as well as workshops and unique dining events, all meant to inspire attendees to express their creativity, foster new ideas, and form valuable relationships. While it can sound overwhelming, McLaughlin wants women to remember that they have to start small to think big.
I think sometimes we get overwhelmed by the big picture and all the things that we have to do. And it's really about developing your mindset into believing that you can do big things. But you really have to start making small changes. Every day, you can make one small change. You can learn one new thing. You can expand your circle, your network. And I would just say the best way to start is to try something new. Go to a new event, drive a different way to work from home. Just start trying new things and open up your horizons. And I think once you put yourself in a position where you're open to learning new things and growing and meeting people who can help you get there, then those huge goals don't seem so impossible.
And she's a firm believer that anyone can be a boss.
The term boss, I think it's just taking authority in something and owning something that you're good at, and you can be the boss of any aspect of your life, really.
To learn more about the Boss Lady community and to sign up for the August retreat, visit thebossladyretreat.com. For the Business Beat, I'm Kate Sark.
Dinosaurs and reptiles will soon be invading the Ocean Center, and the public is invited to check out the fun. The Ocean Center is housing a number of public events in August, including a dinosaur and reptile exhibit, mixed martial arts, and an annual fall and garden show. The fun begins with Jurassic Quest, August 11th through the 13th. The adventure brings some of the largest life-size moving museum-quality dinosaurs in North America.
It's the second year in a row we've had them back, and that's August 11th through 13th. And families could come, bring your kids and grandkids, and there's going to be a huge T-Rex and Triceratops fossil dig. And also the dino bounce area has dinosaur inflatable mazes and also dinosaur rides.
Admission to Jurassic Quest starts at $18 for children and $29 for children's VIP admission, $16 for adults and $14 for seniors. Children under 2 are free. Law enforcement and military members and their families save $2 per ticket with identification. Hours are from 3 to 8 p.m. August 11th, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. August 12th, and 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. August 13th. For more information, you can visit JurassicQuest.com. Mixed martial arts takes the stage next as Breakthrough MMA is showcased August 12th. This high-energy mixed martial arts event starts at 7 p.m. and tickets start at $30. Details can be found online at BreakthroughMMA.com. The annual Fall Home and Garden Show returns to the Ocean Center August 18th through the 20th. The show offers thousands of square feet of exhibits of the latest in home products and services, materials, pools, spas, entertainment systems, plants, landscapes, and more.
If you're looking forward to your renovations or there's home improvements usually happen in the fall, this is the place to come. There's going to be lots of home improvement products, including landscaping, gardening, water features. And if you're looking to adopt that new pet, there's a pet zone and also a new product zone.
Show hours are 2 to 6 p.m. August 18th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. August 19th, and 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. August 20th. Tickets are $7 for adults 17 and older. $6 for seniors, and children age 16 and under are free. Active duty military are $6 with valid ID. Only cash or checks are accepted. For more information, you can visit Volusia County HomeandGardenShow.com. Finally, cold-blooded fun returns August 19th through the 20th at the Reptile Breeders Expo. Known as the largest reptile meeting in the world, visitors can see hundreds of captive-born snakes, spiders, lizards, amphibians, and turtles, along with herpetology, memorabilia, books, and supplies. Hours of the exhibit are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets will be sold at the door and are $15 for a weekend pass. Children 6 and under are admitted free. For more information, visit reptilebreedersexpo.com. For a complete list of upcoming events at the Ocean Center, visit oceancenter.com and click on the Events tab. Surfers for Autism offered participants a chance to hang 10 at the 8th annual Ponce Inlet Beach Festival. Gary Daniels gives us an inside look at this unique surfing event.
My name is Don. Once again, welcome to Ponce Inlet, Florida. If you're from here, thanks. If you're not, welcome to one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. This is it.
This is the 8th annual Inlet Beach Festival presented by Surfers for Autism, where we have invited 200 families from all over the country to come enjoy the surf with us today. We have all kinds of activities. The level of support we get, first of all, the volunteerism is crazy. We're probably 350 to 400 volunteers to make this day happen. Some of the other things that are going, we have support from the Ponce Inlet Police Department, the Fire Department, Beach Safety Division. Our kids are going to be painting fire engines, painting cop cars, but that's all the back end. The main thing that we're here to do today is surfing. The therapeutic benefit of surfing to individuals within the autism spectrum is groundbreaking.
We've been involved in Surfers for Autism for like 3 or 4 years. One of our mutual friends, Tiffany, was already involved in Special Olympics and told her about this event, and we came out the first time she was able to get in the first event. It was just blowing away everything we had heard about it. It wasn't even close to what it really is.
The hardest part of surfing is trying to get up, trying to ride the waves in.
Some of these kids will speak for the first time today. They're going to touch and bear hug and high five. And these are kids that are not receptive to touch. And we're going to break down a lot of barriers today. And we're going to somewhat remove autism from the picture for a very short period of time. for a lot of these kids, we're going to give them an identity. They're going to take on this role. They're going to become surfers. They're going to enjoy it, embrace it. They're going to realize immediately that I'm doing this, and I'm doing this on my own. There's no one on my surfboard, and I'm riding this board on these waves in the ocean all the way to the beach, and I have 3,000 people standing on the shoreline cheering for me. So the experience is different for every one of these kids and young adults, and in a lot of cases, they can't articulate that to us because of what we're working with here. We just know it's pretty amazing and it works.
What I get out of it is knowing that we're not alone, knowing that there are people with families just like us. I actually learn a lot too of different organizations and doctors, medication, vitamins, all the behavioral needs. Just knowing that you're not alone, that there is a community out there.
Awesome. There you go. Thanks, guys. Very good. Thank you very much.
As a dad, I mean, just to be able to see not only her, but other athletes and kids and young adults to be in an environment where they can be themselves and maybe do something that they've never tried to do before, and the volunteers make it successful. I mean, it's just an incredible organization, and it's an incredible feeling as a dad to see what they do.
They are pretty fun. I enjoy coming out to these events.
Volusia County welcomes lifeguards and their families for the annual U.S. Lifesaving Association's National Lifeguard Championships. Top lifeguards will compete in Volusia County August 9th through the 12th on the beach behind the Ocean Walk in Daytona Beach. Come out and cheer on these elite athletes as they compete in board races, surf swims, beach flags, iron guard competitions, a 2K beach run, and more. For additional event info, visit usla.org/nationals.
Let's go now to Community Information Director Joanne Magley and her guest Pedro Leon, Business Manager for Volusia County's Economic Development.
Thanks, Amber. Well, the economic news across the country and here in Volusia County continues to be very positive. Today, we'll take a look at the key economic influences for the local economy for the second quarter of 2017. So joining us in the studio today is Pedro Leon, Business Manager in the county's Economic Development Division. Hi, Pedro.
Hi, Joanne. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. So every quarter, the Economic Development team gives a quarterly update to the community, and you did that this past Friday. So what was the general message of your most recent quarterly update?
Our general message was one that was quite positive for the Volusia County economy because it's showing some vitality and some incremental growth. We have seen that permits and permit values have risen, and industry sectors have been gaining in employment over the course of the past year. We've also seen that the number of unemployed persons has dropped. It has gone from 12,000 to 10,800, and we are very pleased that our labor force has expanded by about 5,600 persons to a total of 251,000, and a healthy labor force always helps.
Yeah, that is all really great news. So how are we doing then on a national level?
Well, there's positive news at the national level. The federal government has recently released some advanced information on gross domestic product, or GDP, and they are showing that the second quarter grew at an annual rate of 2.6%, and that's far better than what it did in the first quarter of 1.4%. Now, the national labor force remained stable. It even grew a little. And we also found that there was an 800,000 person drop in the number of unemployed persons, always a positive.
Yeah, that's all really good news. So one part of your presentation that we do every quarter is we talk about construction activity, which includes the permit activity. So let's start with residential permits, and what have we seen with this most recent quarter in residential permit activity?
Well, there's been an increase in residential permit activity. The first quarter was certainly strong. In the second quarter, we have actually exceeded the first quarter and even exceeded the 500 residential permit threshold. We've reached 534 residential permits just in that 3-month period, and that's something that we've not seen for the last 2 years.
And so you mentioned earlier about the value of permits. So what does this do with how is our value of permits relating with this rise in permits?
Well, you know, I'm pleased to report that that strong performance meant that we have reached a level of $167 million in residential permit value, and that's a number that exceeds any quarter either in 2015 or 2016. I think there's great vitality in our housing market. I think you can see that in the number of commercial and residential construction, and people are looking for places where they can find wonderful homes in communities where they have access to commercial facilities.
And keeping with homes, you shared some interesting information on mortgage delinquency. So tell us about that.
That was the information from the Mortgage Bankers Association. They have been sharing with us the information on those mortgages that are about 90 days or so behind or starting the process of foreclosure. And they have looked at it historically, going back before the recession. And they are showing that currently, of all the mortgages, the delinquent ones have reached a level, on average, of 1.7%. And that's a level we've not seen since before the recession, back before 2008. Now, if we look at it by loan type, the FHA loans are showing a delinquency rate of about 2.6%. But the VA and the conventional loans are closer to 1.4 and 1.5%, and that's a remarkably strong showing, and just as good as those pre-recession levels.
All right, let's move on to now commercial construction numbers and that permit activity. So what are those numbers showing for our most recent quarter?
Well, we found that there were 26 commercial permits issued for new construction for the second quarter, and that's on par with the first quarter, which issued about 23 commercial permits. But what is wonderful about the second quarter is that the value is at $79 million compared to only $31 million the first quarter, a very strong showing. Now, one of the things that makes this stand out is that we found a dozen projects that exceeded $1 million in commercial permit value. And they included the One Daytona Marriott Autograph Hotel, the DiMucci Tower 14 condominium project in Daytona Beach Shores, and a Goodwill facility as well as a Walmart neighborhood market over in DeLand. Also issued this quarter was the Embry-Riddle Wind Tunnel building. That's been much anticipated and a welcome project for the community.
So I would think that would mean a more stable rise when you have multiple large permit activity versus one really big project.
Oh, I think you're right about that. This has covered a number of different sectors, from community projects to retail to hotel, and that is showing a continued level of high confidence of investment for our community.
So with all this construction will naturally come construction jobs, and we know there are a lot of opportunities there. Talk about the job market in general for Volusia County. Where do we stand when it comes to job availability and things like that?
Well, we spoke earlier about the national unemployment rate going down. And our official unemployment rate has also gone down. We've gone down from the official rate of 4.9% to 4.3% year over year. So in other words, at this point in the second quarter of 2016, we were still at 4.9%, and now we're at 4.3%. And we are showing substantial gains in employment over the course of that year in three very important sectors. We are showing retail trade gaining in employment by over 1,400 jobs, construction by over 1,000 jobs, and professional and business services by over 800 jobs.
Wow. So, all right, let's move on to exports, because I know recently Enterprise Florida, they have released some information about exports, and a lot of people don't necessarily think of Volusia County and exporting, but it's a big factor when it comes to our economy and our economic development.
Oh, I totally agree. Exports and international trade are a key part of our economy and of Florida's economy, both in terms of manufacturing and agriculture, for example. Now, Enterprise Florida has recently released this information showing the growth in the value of exports and their supportive jobs. For example, in the 10 years from 2006 to 2015, Volusia County export value rose from $270 million to $420 million. not to be left behind, Florida grew by $15 billion to a total of $54 billion. And so there is remarkable vitality in the export market. For example, exported goods from Florida were shown to have supported 240,000 U.S. jobs.
So another thing regarding, you have a lot of data that you give to the community. Really, the Q briefing is all about data. So one of the points that you mentioned was about industrial land data. So what is that and why, and what can we get out of this data?
Well, you're referring to a research and development project called the Economic Development Industrial Lands Study, also known as EDILS. And EDILS is a project that's made possible by a collaboration with several county departments working with all of our cities and several department directors under the direction of our county manager to pull together a community contribution to the effort to compete for jobs and investment. And this is that effort that's led by Team Volusia, the CEO Business Alliance, and there are many stakeholders.
So what does this data, what do we hope to gain from having this data about industrial land?
Well, the EDILS project uses geographic information software. It combines that with industrial zoning data and lots of information from the parcel database that, when combination, can be used to filter out the best potential industrial development sites that might match best with a recruitment prospect's needs. They'll come in, they'll have a certain profile of the kind of location and say energy needs and other things that might go into a new facility, and the ability to take over approximately 400,000 parcels of Volusia County land and filter that using computers and GIS software provides an important tool for the community and all the cities to help in that effort of identifying those sites.
All right, well, we do the Economic Development does the quarterly briefings every quarter, and we invite the public to come to those. They're at the International Airport in Daytona Beach.
That's right.
If they can't make it to that, you have a plethora of information online. How can people find out more about anything economic development or the recent data that we just talked about?
Well, the best place to start is at our website, and that's www.floridabusiness.org. There we have a Data and Key Reports tab where people can access both this quarterly report and a number of other reports. Now, we're working hard to try to keep this data up to date. So we're currently undertaking a review of the content on this page to be sure that we stay current.
All right, well, Pedro Leon, with the business manager with the county's Economic Development Division, thank you so much for being here today and providing us all this great information.
Thank you, Joanne. It's been a pleasure.
Amber, back to you.
Thanks, Joanne, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osman. Have a wonderful evening.